Hi, welcome back to Cooking with Gwenda. Today is episode 7 and we will be making honey flans. My name is Lorelei and this is my mom.
Hi, I'm Gwenda and I'm an innkeeper here at the Pryor House Bed and Breakfast. As Lorelei said, we're making honey flans today.
Yeah.
This is a go-to recipe for me when I have a guest, especially when I have guests that are gluten-free or wheat intolerant, because there's no flour in it at all, and it's a fairly simple recipe. You can make it the night before.
It's really yummy. It's really yummy.
Yes, it's very yummy. So I have to preface all that by saying that I got this wonderful recipe from this cookbook. It's Molly Katzen's Sunlight Cafe cookbook, and it has lots of great recipes in it. So in today's honey flan recipe, you're going to need 4 eggs. You're going to need 2 cups of milk. And you can use skim milk, I'm using whole milk, but you can use any 2%, 1%, whatever. Vanilla, honey, and the original recipe says that you can use honey or maple syrup. So,
oh wow.
And cooking spray. So to start, we are going to preheat the oven to 350 degrees. And the first step that you're going to do along with preheating the oven is to take a 9x13 cake pan, and you're going to fill it halfway with water. So this is a recipe that has it's going to cook in a water bath. So go ahead and open the oven door, Lorelei.
And you can just put it in there.
Just put it right in as it's preheating.
Okay,
Yeah.
so put the water-filled pan. 9x13. Okay. To 350?
To 350 degrees, and it will make a sound. It talks to us. It'll make a sound when it's ready, and by that time maybe we'll have all this stuff prepared.
Okay.
So you're going to start out using ramekins. These are, I believe, 6-ounce ramekins, but you can see I have a combination. I have 3 of these. These might be slightly smaller, and the recipe calls for 5. And if you want to go ahead, Lorelei, and spray these with cooking spray. And I'm also, while you're doing that, going to get you to spray this tablespoon thing as well. Spray it all over it. There we go. It's going to make measuring out the honey much easier.
So why do we do this?
You do that so that the custard mixture for the flan doesn't stick while it's baking. It'll be much easier to remove it afterwards.
All right.
Okay, after that's done, we're going to go ahead and crack these eggs into like a medium-sized cooking container that you can mix them up in easily. And when we get that done, Lorelei.
So that was the 4 eggs.
These are the 4 eggs.
So what do we do next?
Go ahead and whisk them with the whisk. Okay, they look good.
It's like a goldeny. I actually don't think I can show that to you without spilling it everywhere.
All right, we're going to put our 1/8 teaspoon of salt in at this point. And
whisk it again.
Keep on whisking away. I'm going to go ahead and put in 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla while she's doing that.
1.5. So there's 1 teaspoon.
And then here's the half. Or a lot of times I just estimate and throw it right in there without measuring, but today I'm measuring.
For them, because they're not doing that. They need specifics.
And then we're going to measure out, this recipe calls for 11 tablespoons of honey.
11?
Yes. So you're going to put 1 tablespoon in each of the ramekins, in each of these.
On the bottom?
On the bottom. So every ramekin these little baking dishes gets 1 tablespoon of honey. Whoops, I'm making a mess.
As a kid, this was one of my favorite recipes that you would make for guests because
I'd have leftovers sometimes.
You'd always have leftovers, and it was such a treat in the morning because you eat the honey flan and then at the bottom there's some honey.
This is a great brunch recipe too, and it's a little bit lighter than creme brulee. And so if you're looking for even a dessert after a dinner meal, this is a much lighter recipe than creme brulee. So it's nice and creamy, and I love it. So there's 5 tablespoons of honey, and then the remaining 6 tablespoons you're going to put in here.
I feel like that was maybe the 5th one.
I think that was 6.
Are you sure?
All
So
right.
you're mixing it?
Yeah, and 2 cups of milk. So when this is all mixed up, I'm gonna pour some of it back in there.
Nice.
And then we're gonna put it in here. And you're just gonna divide it out between all 5 of them.
Does it matter the egg yolk? The egg isn't fully mixed in, or is that honey?
It could be honey or egg, but that's okay. When it bakes, it'll be nice and creamy and smooth. Just gonna stir that a little
I
bit.
didn't know this recipe was so simple.
Yeah, it's very simple. Okay, and then when our oven is completely preheated, we're going to bake them for 35 to 40 minutes. Our oven is now preheated to 350 degrees, so we're going to take the pan out that has been heating with the oven.
Mm-hmm.
Very carefully, because it has all this hot water in it.
Yeah, you don't want to hurt yourself.
And I'm going to take these off for a second because I want to place these in here.
Should they be touching, or does it matter?
It doesn't matter if they're touching or not. And then, whoops, I spilled a little bit, but that's all right. And sometimes if you use smaller ones, you can get a 6th one in there, but you have to excuse me dripping there. All right, and then we'll stick it back in the oven.
Yeah, be careful not to spill anything.
And this is when you bake it for 35 to 40 minutes.
And you want to test it?
You do test it at about 35 minutes and then you're going to just stick a knife in close to the edge to see if it's fairly set up at that point. Our honey flan should be ready to come out of the oven now. And you want to be really careful because the water is really hot. And I use a tongs to do it. You just very carefully lift it out and put it on something like a towel where it can cool off. And we really can't do anything with them until they're completely cool at this point. At this point, when your flans are completely cool, I refrigerated them so they're nice and cool. You're just going to take a knife and just gently cut around the edge. And after you've done that, you'll be ready to invert them into the pan. And I just kind of guide it with my hands. And you'll feel it coming out. And the honey is right on the top there. And that's the fun part. After you have inverted it into your bowl or your plate, then you can decorate it however you want. Sometimes I just put simply a piece of mint on it. In this case, we can just kind of put our blueberries around it.
Nice.
Yeah. There you go. And there's your honey flan.
Nice.
Ready to be eaten.
Good job. Okay.
Thanks for watching. Thanks.
Come back whenever we post again.